Oceans and Laws of the Sea, also known as the UNCLOS, an international agreement resulting from 3 UN conferences which took place between 1973 and 1982. Now the question being, why? Why is the UN so invested?
Well, the United Nations is invested because in 1982, a special convention took place called the Law and Sea Convention. During this convention, the United Nations decided that it would be best to protect ecosystems as well as protect future conflicts from happening. They also decided that it would be time to step in. This means coordinating programs in marine search, observation systems, hazard mitigation, and managing coastal areas.
To manage coastal areas means that you're making sure that each country does not invade a sovereign country. This being the case.
Case study.
The Turbo War was a conflict between Canada and Spain that was born when, in 1994, Spanish ships with European Union support insisted on fishing more of a fish called turbo in the Northwest Atlantic than the Northwest Atlantic Fisheries Organization, or NAFO, permits. Canada confiscated a Spanish ship called the Este that was both overfishing and using an illegal net and arrested its crew. The main issue, aside from the return of the Este and its crew to Spain, was this: does Canada's control over the ocean extend past the legal boundary it has claimed? According to Canada, the turbo are Canadian, so the jurisdiction extends to wherever the turbo go. When the area immediately outside of Canada is overfished, it affects Canada's fish stocks. Spain claimed that borders are borders, and no one has control over international waters past their borders.
So the question is, what can we do? Well, we think we should build a wall. Just kidding.
The resolution was that in 1996, the EU and Canada reached an agreement in which Canada allowed freer fishing to European ships, and Europe agreed to follow Canadian quota laws.
So what does the UN nations have to do with the law of the sea?
The United Nations has a lot to do with the law of sea. The United Nations has already been fulfilled in a main role. It has created international regulations that clear up much of the misunderstandings that result in the sea. This is a closer look. So another problem is that a huge chunk of the sea does not belong to us. So the question is, who does it belong to? Some of us may never know who it actually belongs to.
The public has contributed to the ocean and laws in the seas using forms of media to open people's eyes. Most people would rather see an interesting movie than a boring documentary.
A boring documentary. So they came up with a piracy movie called Captain Phillips. This consults the problem with piracy in the law of the sea, knowing that pirates cannot take over. So what can you do to help? You can log on to many forms of social media. What are you going to do?
That's all, folks.